Well, welcome to another RDWorks Learning Lab. What we see here in front of us is a file that somebody sent me. Now, that person didn't tell me that they already tried to get this file onto a t-shirt. And the question that he actually asked me was, should I be engraving it or should I be cutting it? Well, my first reaction was, t-shirt, very thin material. No, it's not possible. And then I remembered that my good lady wife, once upon a time before she had a good steam iron, was a dab hand at putting brown iron marks on some of my t-shirts. Okay, scorch marks. If we do it fast enough and if we do it light enough, perhaps we can put scorch marks on a t-shirt. Let's give it a go. Okay, let's set the parameters up. Now, first of all, let's just take a look at this picture. It's all a series of lines. There's nothing on there that needs to be engraved as such with scanning, because these are all vector lines, nice, small, compact lines. So what we need to do is cut those lines. So we set cut mode and speed. Well, we've got three factors we're going to play with to do this job. One of them is speed. I'm going to set that at 220. And then we've got power. Now, my tube is a 60 watt tube, and at 13%, it's still on the edge of this rather strange condition where the beam is not properly formed. When I get to 14%, the beam is now fully formed. So that's the weakest beam, solid beam, that I can use. And so we'll set both max and min power to 14% for this, hopefully first and final run. But I mean, we're just completely guessing here, so who knows what's going to happen. Okay, we'll now save that to a memory stick and we'll meet up at the machine. I've got my little pin table here, and I'm going to put some pins right in the corner. Just 4 pins. Drop the table right down. What I've now got is a piece of 10mm ply, and I've just stuck that inside there so that I can get a nice flat surface to work on, and also get an idea generally of whether or not I've got the pattern central on the t-shirt. So I'll now stretch it very slightly and flatten it out. Make sure we get the t-shirt in the right way round so that the pattern isn't upside down. And I'll get my focus point back to about 15mm. Now, the amazing thing is it's not really scorching like it does with paper. It's not leaving many sort of smoke marks behind. Now, how durable this is going to be in the wash, I couldn't say. But it certainly looks as though, you know, if you've got a special occasion or a party that you want to go to, you could buy a cheap t-shirt and you could decorate it with something rather special. Now, I'm not sure this is going to enhance my image as a woman magnet, but I am going to wear it just for a short time to show you what it looks like. I have to say that as well as making sure the power isn't too high, the out of focus lines, they do thicken up and they make it look quite good and pronounced. Let's see what happens when I take it off the board. Have we burnt through? Is it going to fall apart? I think the answer to that question is yeah. So maybe I shall use 8% and 13%, or maybe 8% and 12% to see what we can do. Now, you don't normally use max min power on cutting, but in this particular instance what we need to do is, as the speed slows down to get to the sharp corners, we want to reduce the power. Okay, now when you set the power, just remember that the first one that you come to in the list is actually, read it carefully, it says minimum power. So I've got to set the top one to 8%. And the bottom one, the second one, has got to be set to 12%. We're looking at the sharp corners to see whether or not we're getting burning in the sharp corners. No, it's not as bad. I could try taking that down 1 more percent. Try dropping it down a shade more. Power has now disappeared. Look, I've got control of power on the focus. So by raising and lowering the focus, I can change the power. That looks a bit better. Now, because it's so sensitive to energy density, you've got to make sure that your work surface is, or this plane here, is set up very accurately. Because if it varies by about 1 millimetre over the corners front to back, you're going to get a different depth of cut. And you're going to produce a holy t-shirt. Now, where there are lots of lines here, you might want to take some of those lines out so that there's less chance of it burning through. Because if you're running over the same spot with the beam, you're burning it a little bit deeper each time. So you definitely want to edit the program and take some of these lines out. I'm actually feeling quite a lot more comfortable about this one, looking at the way it's going. I can't see that it's actually burning through, especially things like that last little one there. Well, it hasn't fallen to pieces this time, which is excellent news. So, if you get it wrong, it's going to look like this, which may be the sort of look you want. But on the other hand, maybe this is better.